Have you ever heard of this one game called Viva Piñata? A game that allows you to control a wide range of piñatas and build up a garden from nothing to something that you might be just proud of. Well, in today's video, I want to go and explore the game for 100 days and see how far I can go and what the possibilities are of this timeless classic from my childhood. I have one main goal for these 100 days, and that is to unlock every single piñata that is inside of this game. And also a sub challenge, try to romance them all. Yeah, we'll get into that topic a bit later. Without further ado, let's see how my 100 days went. I slowly had my character walk through a vivid land that instantly got me back into the Viva Piñata zone. From here, I was greeted by a crying character. Her name is Leafos, who is basically my guide throughout the game itself. I learned that I'm here as a new owner of this garden, and I got a journal that allows me to basically get all the deets on every single piñata and anything I'll need later on. After getting a bunch of tutorial things out of the way, I got my first item, a shovel, and so that meant day one began. First, I started by bashing the ground with my shovel to reveal the soil that was underneath, and as I did that, I got my first piñata to show up. A worm. Since he showed up, the way the game works is you need to wait for the piñata to enter your garden, and then you have to have or do what it requires to become a resident of the garden. All piñatas vary in their requirements. Some require insane things like your whole land to just be water, or like this little worm just needs to have a bit of dirt in the garden. So it's super easy straight off the bat. I resumed the dirt bashing and getting some chocolate coins from destroying some of the trash, and then I not only got the little guy to visit me, but also some grass seed, which allowed me to plant the grass all around the dirt to make it look a bit better. Because of that, the second piñata appeared, a Cyrupan. I decided to call the worm Jonathan, because why not? Yeah, he's my boy. And then on top of all of that, because of everything that just happened, I got another piñata to appear, a Sparrowmint, and also my first person, I guess, to appear, called Willy, who is essentially the construction guy who builds homes for the piñatas that then allows them to romance. And with that, the game made me place down the first house for Jonathan. As I continued to clean up the area, Willy finished off the build, and I was able to reveal it by smashing the scaffolding he had covered with. I really enjoy this feature inside of the game, and it always makes the build up of what's inside so cool. From there, Jonathan was ready to do the stuff, I guess. Wait, oh, there's a second worm now. So in that case, you basically have to get the piñata to mate with the other one whenever there's a heart above their head and they achieve their requirements for romancing. You do that by controlling piñatas. You just tell them where to go. That's kind of the basic idea. And then once they're inside of the romancing phase, you complete a mini game where you have to get them from point A to point B, avoiding sour bombs. If you hit them multiple times, you die, or you can just run out of time. So there's a bit of a challenge to doing this each and every single time with every piñata. After Jonathan and Worm 2 were done, they officially went back to their crib and then they danced. That's essentially how romancing works inside of this game. They dance. With that meant that another human character was going to be appearing, and that was Storkos. She's basically the egg deliverer. A Sparrowmint actually ended up becoming part of the garden. And well, would you know, another piñata just appeared out of nowhere, a donut, which is kind of an interesting piñata to appear because it's not exactly late game, but it's definitely not a piñata that I can work on just right now as I'm missing a good bit of things. Ah, look at mini Jonathan. From here, I got a free seed and planted it, which required me to keep track of its water level with a new tool, the watering can. Also, here I made a terrible discovery. The Sparrowmint needs to eat a worm to romance. Well, Jonathan, that means you gotta go back in the game a few more times just so it doesn't hurt as much when we lose worm like 10 or something. But before he could go back and break records, I got a bunny comb to show up. As I was getting Jonathan and Worm 2 to go get those numbers up, again, another piñata appeared. Day 1 is going insane right now. And it was a moth drop. And overall, nothing really happened for the rest of the night. Kind of funny that I say that because so much has already happened. The end of the night just kind of involved Jonathan meeting his offspring each and every single time. Now, realistically, it is basically day 2 already inside of the game, but I'm going to not count the night. Basically, it's like the real world, so 12 a.m., the new day starts. But in this video, we're going to consider mornings to be the brand new day, just because it kind of works better, you know? In day 2, I got introduced to XP, which is one of the many methods of unlocking new piñatas, plants, and anything else inside of the game, which included Seedos, who is our seed guy. He just shows up sometimes, and if you interact with him, like you talk to him, he'll give you a completely free seed. He's also the only person that really gives you any new seeds that you unlock, which now he gave me a Daisy and a Buttercup seed. Also, I got Jonathan to romance like 2 more times. Sorry, buddy. We gotta do this. We gotta get these numbers up. Which, thankfully, since they were so high up, I got Willie to work on the home for the Sparrowmints because I felt like I was ready to, you know, say goodbye to some of them. Because of the plants that I just finished growing, I got 3 new piñatas to appear. A Taffly, White Flutterscotch, and a Buzzlegum. Why? They're so goofy. Oh, and here's another human character, Lottie. She's like the MVP of the game, essentially. She sells almost everything you will ever need inside of the game. From seeds to miscellaneous things to fertilizers that can make your plants turn into absolute beasts. I gotta say, the designs that they have for the characters inside of this game are bizarrely eerie if you really just concentrate on them, since every single one wear masks. I wonder what they look like underneath. From there, I decided to go check Lottie's out and bought a turnip seed and also a torch, which all will have their benefits in attracting different piñatas. From here, I got a Taffly. Look at the little thing, so fat. I love this game. All of the stuff that I've been doing got the Pret's tail to appear. And with that, for some odd reason, my brain was like, oh, now it's time to breed the Sparrowmints, or well, romance them. It's really just all over the place right now. Goodbye, Worm 4. You will be missed. And then because of the torch, a Mothrob entered the garden, and we got it as a resident. See? I said, it's all connected. It all will make sense. The morning of day 3, I had the last Sparrowmint get Worm 6, which meant they were ready to romance. Hey, I mean, I guess the dance was pretty neat. One thing that was kind of messed up was just before they actually got to romancing, Jonathan and Worm 2, which are the parents of all of them, I kind of made sure of that, came up and looked at them. Ugh, what the that's so weird. From there, Franny Franker appeared. Yep, that's their name. Dare I say, one of the most useless characters in this game though. Like, I think I only used her once, and that's in the coming up days, and then never again. And instead of visiting her, I just went to Lottie to see all the new things that she had because of the levels I got. It's always so exciting to go check out what I can afford. Never mind. And from here, I had Marshmallow, Squazil, and on top of all of that, Raisant to appear. Another back to back to back. But just when you thought that was enough, no. We had our first sour piñata to appear. Quick side note, a really quick explanation of what they are. They're essentially the bad piñatas that you can change. I can change them. I can make them different. I promise, I can change them. Now, one of the only things that they really do is they just cause trouble. They're troublemakers and also love to spit out poisonous candy, or well, sour candy in that case. Also, I completely forgot to mention, whenever a piñata dies, it spits out all of its candy and it like hovers into the sky and doesn't actually die. They just stop being a resident. Well, obviously they die, but they're still alive. It's still very much a kid-friendly game. Oh, also, I got a Marshmallow because of the turnip, so that was pretty neat. Because of that, I can actually get the snake to be a resident since they need to eat a Marshmallow. From here, I talked to Cedos and got corn and a bluebell seed. After the corn was done, I got an achievement, which then played an achievement video. These are very interesting. It just kind of it happens inside the game. Then I got a shovel upgrade, and that was pretty nice, which allowed me to plant holes. If you're wondering what that does, it just kind of lets you choose which like area you want the plant to be exactly for some odd reason. I rarely used it, honestly. And hey, there it is, a sink. Just a quick side note, I guess I forgot to mention, I'll be going from normal game names of the like creatures to the real life names because they do represent actual real life animals, and some of the names are very difficult to pronounce, like the snake, Serpent. So snake it is. And then to finish off the day, Cedos came in clutch and gave me one of my favorite things, the apple tree seed, or just, well, a tree. And also a poppy seed, so that's pretty nice of him. And because of that, I just spent like the rest of the night just staring at it as it grew, which is weird, but hey, I was excited. I had to keep up with that watering level, you know? Starting day 4 off, Gretchen Fetch'em showed up, who's basically the person I can go to get piñatas. If I get them as residents, she can then go hunt them down herself and catch them for me if I ever need any specific ones and don't have the time to like, you know, re-get them inside the garden. And then for the rest of the day, at least for a good chunk of it, I just stared at the tree until I heard the noise of bad candy. I don't like that sound being dropped. And who dropped it? That's right. the sour piñata, who, may I add, is also called the sour shelly bean. I don't know if you can tell, but that's a snail. So I quickly got what it needed to essentially become mine, and that was just like a normal seed. And then I waited until it ate it, and not too long from there, it did. And then it cocooned up, which resulted in me not only unlocking it as a resident, which made it look all nice and pretty, also a totem head, which if you get a sour totem head, essentially it works as if you have it on, the sour piñata will no longer show up. If you turn it off, the sour piñata will show up and cause chaos. So usually just leave them on. And then also another new shovel, which just made it strong. And of course, because, you know, plenty of distractions, I just went back to tree spection. It's taken a while, but again, I got interrupted. And a arachnid showed up. Look at him, weird looking spider. Back to the tree anyway. Which, after a while, it was done. Finally. From there, I noticed that the torch that I had for the moth drop was actually causing chaos and burning like all my piñatas, which reminded me I can actually get a secret piñata. That's right. There's so many different things you can do inside of this game that unlock you variations of piñatas. And the variation that I wanted to get now was a taffly. So what I did was I made the taffly, fly into the torch, burn, and then die. Listen, I messed up, but hey, look, new character unlocked, which is called Batch. He's essentially the doctor that will always come in clutch, heal your piñatas whenever they get sick. Thankfully, he did heal it up, and the second time around, I remembered I'm supposed to pour water on it, which, there it is, a red hot. That's what it turned into. Firefly, I guess, if you want to call it. I think it's pretty cool. Yeah. And because of that, I got another cool thing, and that is a shovel upgrade. But get this, this time, this shovel will allow me to dig holes that allow me to have water in my garden. Perfect. I was waiting for that. So of course I started making ponds everywhere and then like fully customizing it. And because of that, I talked to Cedos and he gave me a watercress seed, which is essentially for the water. So that's pretty cool. Oh, and also a hazelnut tree. Another tree to the addition. Very cool. Thank you very much. Day 5, I got Miss Petula unlocked, who essentially sells pets. So piñatas that just don't show up randomly, at least for now. You have to first purchase them. And also the only piñata pet that she had was a chicken, or well, cluckles. Also, I got a blackberry seed, which I will count as a mini tree, so that's even better now. And I also decided to sell the Sparrowmint home, since I don't really need it right now. From here, I wanted the Tafflies to romance, just slowly making my way through all of them, since, you know, it takes a while to unlock other piñatas, and by the time you get into your garden, might as well multitask. I do have like 95 days left. So I got the Tafflies at home, and then a Lick-a-Toad decided to show up. Just a disclaimer, do not lick a toad. Get it? Okay. Since I just got the red hot unlocked, I remembered that the Sparrowmint can eat a buttercup flower petal and turn into a Candary. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, another piñata. Let's go. Cedos was nice enough to give me a pumpkin seed, which unlocked Bart, who's definitely a very difficult character to explain. He can basically turn things into things, or well, upgrade versions of things. So a pumpkin can turn into a jack-o'-lantern, or bread can turn into a sandwich. He has like 3 tiers, and I try to maybe not go for the other ones. So there's gold, which is obviously the best, most expensive, but he'll definitely not fail. And then bronze and silver are the cheaper options, but risky. I also noticed that there was 2 ants taking apples from the tree, which was neat. They are basically progressing on their own and trying to become residents. So I'm okay with that. Cool, cool, cool. I kind of forgot about Willy after making the Taffly house. So he wandered around the garden for a while. So after that, I revealed the home and it was a fly trap. Nice. Fits right in. Then I looked inside, which is something you can do. Apart from the fly swatter, it looked pretty cozy inside of there. Oh, there we go. There's our first ant, which was nice. And because of that, I got both Arthur Stout, not Arthur, Arthur Stout, and Sprinkling, which are basically like characters that Arthur controls, or well, he's the boss of. It's kind of confusing. So Arthur sells helpers. Sprinkling is one of those helpers, and you go to Arthur to rent out the Sprinkling to work for you. So you're the boss, but he's also the boss. Yeah, we'll get into that later. And on top of this, I got one of my favorite piñatas to appear, the Fudge Hog. I need to get him now, but first, multiple other distractions as per usual. Like this, I got chilies. Found out I needed poppy seeds to romance the flies. And then I found out that the Fudge Hog visited, but I needed a bad plant for him to eat. Okay, this is another part of the game that kind of needs a brief explanation. They're dangerous plants, or well, actually weeds. That's the best way to explain them. Some of them can hurt your piñatas. Most of them actually just hurt your piñatas. So what I like to do is build a little enclosure, make it look all nice, and try to plant it there. Obviously, flying piñatas are still gonna get to it, but at least it won't be as chaotic. And with that, I went to Lottie's to buy one of these plants, and I actually couldn't remember which one it was, so I just got the two that I had. Yeah, Alzheimer's person right here. Viva Piñata fun facts! Did you know there is actually 2 other games and they're sequels? Well, one of them is a direct sequel, and then another one of them is actually a DS version of the game. So there's Trouble in Paradise, which is the sequel that came out like 2 years later, and then Pocket Paradise. I know, crazy naming. The thing with Pocket Paradise is it was so good. I played it so many times, and then I kind of lost it, so I had to rebuy it. But anywhere I went, I played it like non-stop. If you saw me somewhere, I was like, what is that guy doing? I was playing Viva Piñata on my DS. It was just so good. One of the things that I remember the most from it is like the music that you had in the different shops was just so good. It was a bop. Willie's shop, oh my god, bop. Lottie's shop, oh my god, another bop. They were just so good. There is one sad thing though. It was like the last thing that we actually got from Viva Piñata to this day. Yeah. Anyway, back to the video. Day 6, I learned that was not the plant, at least that one. But hey, I got a title upgrade, and the garden is now bigger. Yes, this is level 2 of 3. So essentially, level 1 is what we were at. Now we're at level 2 of the size of the garden. So I decided to start cleaning up because I'll take more space any day. And obviously, I like making my garden look all nice. While I did that, the buzzenge, I hope I pronounced that correctly, showed up. I have to do this. More like bazinga. Yeah, I'm sorry about that one. From there, I noticed that 2 Tafflies all of a sudden started fighting. That was very confusing. I hope that doesn't make it like awkward whenever they start romancing. Also, something I completely forgot to mention, a sour sherbet appeared, which I learned it needed a jack-o'-lantern. So I tried to get a pumpkin and barred on that real quick. Hopefully that works. Well, day 7, he failed because I went for the cheaper option. So yeah, let's try that again. But hey, today I remembered that for the past 3 days, the Tafflies were supposed to romance. So I did that. That was super awkward. You know, they fought, but oh, that's Dookie. Their mini game literally takes place on a Dookie. And oh, the dance, he ate him. He ate him, or they ate each other, yeah. Which then I decided, since my garden was all nice now, I wanted to actually expand past the invisible line from before and dug out a nice little pond. Look at that, so nice. Oh, and a new cat showed up. That's basically one of the first aquatic piñatas, if you want to call them. Oh, and also because the Tafflies were done, I evicted them. Sorry, buddies, you gotta go. And then I spotted this piñata. If you don't know what this piñata is, we'll get to it later. It's like pretty late game that I'm gonna get in inside of this video, but it's not supposed to be here, like at all. It's also a variation of a piñata, which is even more confusing. I don't think I've ever seen this happen, or maybe I did. Maybe it's like a teaser. Ooh, you can get this later on. But that was interesting today. And then I decided it was time to mate the snakes. So I have to get multiple marshmallows, or well, 2, because that's the requirement. So I got some turnips around the place and hope for the best that, you know, they just get in on their own. Also, since my worm stocks are kind of slacking, I had to get a second thistle plant for the fudge hog to get inside of the actual garden. And also, towards the end of the night, the sherbet showed up and ate the jack-o'-lantern. So there we go. We got another tower. That's pretty cool. Day 8 started off with her. She's like one of the helpers that worked for Arthur, like the watering lady from before. Oh, also, I got a bunny from some of the carrots I planted like multiple times, so that's neat. That's unlocked. I found out that I can get long grass, which was cool, but why is it so expensive? So I guess I gotta sell some stuff. I sold the worm house, peace out, and then the sherbet, which we just got. Listen, I'll get it later, trust me. So now we have some money, and just before I went to buy the long grass, I noticed that I unlocked the squazzle, which was drowning itself like straight away into water. Damn, dude, you just became the resident and you're already trying to get out? Come on, man. Anyway, went back to Lottie's, got the long grass, and then I noticed she had it on sale. So that worked out perfect. I mean, I guess I had some money left over, so I got a gold watering can. Because why not? I think this one just kind of pours for a longer amount of time because the previous watering can that I had just kind of ran out of the water if you poured it for too long. After that, I started customizing the place with some of the overpriced grass and also got the flutterscotch finally. Now, I have 2 of the bunnies, so I decided to romance them, which required all of the basic home and whatever else they needed. I think this is like one of the most dull days in the game. Almost just looks gray. Like, why is it so dark? But hey, they did the thing. Life was created. That was beautiful. Well, who am I kidding? And then the fudge hog appeared, finally, who slowly chipped away at Jonathan's offspring. He was too close to him at one point, so I had to quickly get him out of there. Don't worry, buddy. Gonna try my best to protect you. While I was trying to convince one of the fudge hogs with the thistles, another one showed up. That's a bit complicated. Oh, and then for some odd reason, the fudge hog just started tripping from the plant. Like, isn't that the plant it's supposed to eat? Why is it affecting it like that? Anyway, starting off day 9, another massacre happened. This time, it was a pretzel taking out one of the bunnies right after it was waiting for its first child to be born. Kind of messed up if you ask me, but what isn't at this stage inside of this game? Some bad news, still no fudge hog. Like, it just showed up and dipped, even when there was 2 of them. I decided to sell the house, and I also got a seed to plant gooseberries, and then I got Ivor to show up, who is like a beggar. He just comes around and you just give him some chocolate coins. So that's what I did. And then a Lickitung came out of nowhere, took out one of the tafflies, and yeah, you'll be missed. Definitely not gonna have like over 30 tafflies by day 100. Also, when you give the beggar money, he just kind of like dips, so that was interesting. I wonder when he's gonna show up again. And then I noticed I was about to get a second Lickitung right after getting one of them, which meant it was time to romance them. And I noticed that they needed a green flutterscotch, which reminded me that the flutterscotches can basically change to like too many different color variations. Thankfully, I had 2 of them, so I fed one a watercress flower, which is what they need to go green, you know, so unpredictable. And from there, Piñata Central popped up with a message. They are basically like people that want to take your piñata and set it off to people. Well, it's actually a frog. It's kind of complicated. I did it. They wanted a pretzel. I sent it off. Peace out, my guy. Thankfully, they come back, give you candy, and kind of up the value of the pretzel. So that was cool. Now, one thing that wasn't cool was I got distracted with the mailing system. Remember the Fanny one? Yeah, I was distracted trying to figure out how she worked, and then I noticed something awful. The fudge hog came in, and it's difficult to say. Jonathan spent his last days with me, you know. I was by him. I tried my best to rescue him, but it didn't work, and I blame myself, you know. You will be missed, buddy. I remember the good old days now. Oh, that first time he became part of the resident. That time I named him. Those are the good old days. Anyway, that bit is going for way too long. Peace out, my guy. You did your job. Loved you. Also, notice that Worm 2, his partner's gone. So the OGs are no longer with us. And also, because of whatever the hell just happened, I assume Cruella was like, yes, I will now show up. So here's our third sour piñata, sour Cruella. To start off day 10, the fudge hogs didn't have the decency to even stay and become members of the garden. You killed Jonathan and Worm 2 and you're not even gonna stay. Okay, whatever. We're not gonna let it get to us. Today, I decided I have a new rule. If I'm done romancing the said piñata to, you know, control the overpopulation, I will be selling one or all of them. No more attachments. Maybe. Probably not. Rip Jonathan. Oh, also, I got the frog house built and then tried to get the frogs prepared, but then this frog just completely bugged out because of the fence. Like, it was invisible. Like, invisible? I don't know what it was. It was just so weird. I had to sell it and then went to the house. It was like stuck animation. This thankfully did allow me to romance them, and then the fudge hog reappeared towards the end of the day. And then he went and attacked the plant. No. You might think, oh, he'll eat it. No, he left. He left. Also, got a new upgrade to the shovel. Now I can chop trees. That's neat. And this bozo decided to show up. A ruffian. Basically, the bad guy of Viva Piñata, or one of the bad guys like the goons, come in, throw up, spit on your water with dirt, stuff like that. They're just annoying. One thing that was weird, like the beginning of day 11, I was just gonna look at the ruffian come into the garden, and it just like crept up and then dipped. I have no idea why. Like, it didn't even bother coming in. That's a good thing in my eyes. Since the Lickitungs were done, it was time to sell them and their home. But of course, leave one. I'm going to regret that later. Then I noticed that I needed a quackaberry to have the pretzel to romance. Think I might need a sandwich to get it inside of the garden. Well, maybe bread. So I got Bart to go crazy on some bread. Ta-da! damage. Since it was gonna take a while to get like, you know, the pretzels to romance, it was actually the mice's turn to romance because I still had two. The snakes didn't go at them. Also, here's where I noticed that leaving one more like a toad would have been very helpful for the snakes, since I really want to get them started romancing. During all those shenanigans, I noticed that Sour Cruella finally came into the garden and it needed a fountain and medicine, which the fountain I just got from Lottie's, but the medicine you have to create from honey by getting Bart to go nuts on it. So I don't know if I'll be able to get it today or fast enough before it dips, but I tried my best. Then the mice finally went at it, another one of the list, and I did in fact actually have enough time, which was pretty cool. So there's Sour Tower numero 3. Right from here, I got a pine seed from Cedos, and then a bicycle decided to show up. Since I was kind of running low on the satisfaction of getting rarer and rarer piñatas, I decided it was time to get the donut. See, it's like past day 10, you get it. And for this, I needed a bunch of long grass and also either 10 blackberries or 10 gooseberries for it to visit. Day 12, stuff kept on happening between the piñatas where they just completely fought, so I sold their ass. Get out of here. For now. Then after all that, a quackberry finally showed up. I wonder if it really was that bread. I also noticed that I had a new weed plant, a Venus piñata trap. Let's see what that one does. From there, I got a second snake, one step closer, thankfully. And then a donut entered the garden, ate some of the stuff, and then left. Slow and painful process. We'll get there at some point. Then I got a water lily seed from Cedos, which was really cool. Also, I got Willy to make the snake home. And as I revealed what it looked like, a miracle occurred. The fudge hog finally ate the thing it was meant to. Ladies and gentlemen, we got him. Well, that was after he decided to eat just one more worm. You know, it wasn't full. Day 13, I started with naming. Yes, it's a he. It looks like a he. His name is Fred. Hopefully, he sticks around till the end. Yeah. From here, since I didn't have a lick-a-toad, I decided I was gonna get one hunted. And, I had to opt out for standard catching because I'm broke, which was going to definitely take a long time. Like a pretty long time. But since I did actually have one like a toad, I kind of started working on the snake, so I had it eat it. Also, both the quackaberry and donut showed up, so I went to quickly buy bread for the duck and then back to donut. You fool, you just ate the last one. You're gonna be mine now. Oh my god, I completely forgot how vibrant they become. It's kind of beautiful. Honestly, day 13, ironically, is probably one of the best days so far, if not the best. Since I had the donut, I decided to chop the long grass, since I wasn't the biggest fan of it, and then I decided I was going to breed the squazzles, so I had them get a home. And then at night, the bicycle decided to show up inside the garden. Actually, 2 at that. Can't have them yet though. Need a newt cat. And to finish the day off, I had the squazzles romance. And that was it for day 13. Day 14, I started off with giving some money to the beggar, because why not? I also got a new tree from Cedos, a monkey tree, and because of the tree, a cinnamon monkey showed up. Then a ruffian finally actually decided to enter the garden, threw up some bad candy, and I smacked him around until he left. The lick-a-toad also finally arrived, and I got a B. That's what I wrote in my script. Great script. Basically, a lot of things are happening today. Since I had the toad, it was time for the snakes to romance. And the reason I want the snakes to romance so bad is because there is a secret snake variation that you can get with the egg. They romance, and then you have the egg. It bounces up and down, normal. But wait, what you have to do is wait until it bounces up 3 times aggressively, and before it hatches, you smack it with your shovel and ta-da! There is a 2-headed snake now part of the garden. Also, that was really close. I kind of didn't get it. I should have moved the egg, but thankfully we did get it, and there it is. A 2-headed snake. And if I do everything the same, I will be able to get a different variation, but that's for later. Basically, secret cool piñatas. Also, a sour profiterole showed up, which I found out needed mushrooms, which I completely forgot I had like all this time. Well, I didn't really, but like they're at Lottie's. I went and started growing them, and basically when they're fully grown, you're supposed to have Bart work on them, turn them into good mushrooms. The morning of day 14, everything just kind of went awful. One of the birds decided to eat one of the mushrooms, so that was great before it even turned, so it got sick. Also, I sent off the donut to do the stuff like the piñata stuff. I don't know, whatever. And then this popped up. Yep. overpopulation is actually a thing inside of this game. So I got to selling some piñatas. Also, I realized that the ants and bees really don't get along and they just kept on fighting. So I need to breed one of them and then sell them before I run out of money because all of these damn doctor calls. And then at least something good did happen. The monkey decided to visit the garden. They needed some nuts, so they'll take forever to actually tame. I guess, you know, all of the awful stuff that did happen earlier today, something good did happen. I was finally good enough level to get the last third garden space upgrade. I'm doing all this super fast. From there, I took forever trying to get the damn bees to get out of their house at the same time and then romance. This is like the most frustrating thing. They have a mind of their own. They will do stuff when they choose to do stuff. You tell them to do one thing? No. Viva Piñata fun facts! What a crazy time I'm having, am I right? Well, this fun fact involves a show. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There was a show that released coinciding with the game itself. And the thing with the show is they actually worked very closely with the team that was making the game. So some story elements kind of transferred over, but actually more into sequel than the first game. But it was still very fascinating. And you can actually find those like episodes on YouTube. They're okay. They involve like the Fudgehog, Horstachio, Pret's Tail, the two-headed snake and stuff like that. And it was just a kid's show. I think it's like 4 seasons, which is insane. And it's actually kind of cool in my opinion. I don't think there's ever really been a game that kind of has done the same thing. But yeah, back to my wacky adventures. What is it, day like 202? No, day 20, 30, 40 maybe? I don't know. Thankfully, day 16 stuff started to get a bit better. The prophet mole now actually required, on top of the mushrooms, a red flutterscotch, so I tried my best to get that as fast as possible. Unfortunately, I was too slow. Hopefully, we have better luck next time. Today, the bees went at it, thankfully, finally, and I kind of cleaned up the rest of the garden after the expansion until a sweet tooth decided to appear. No idea why, but I'll take it. The bees were back to being annoying and fighting with the ants, so they got sold. And their homes. You will not be missed. And just in case, I also got rid of some of the buttercups so I wouldn't actually get any more of them. Then I learned that I could purchase the totems. For example, for the Profitable at Lottie's. I actually never knew this, or even if I did, I just completely blocked that out of my memory. So I guess that's pretty cool. And I also got hay, because why not? Like, here's something I was like, oh, I could customize my garden. From there, I decided to have a flutterscotch eat a tulip, which turned it into a black flutterscotch, and then nothing really happened. Just kind of cleaned up the garden. Day 17, it was time to breed the raisins, so I got them at home. And then a chameleon appeared. Chameleon, whatever, which I knew was because of the flutterscotch colors, but never remembered how many I actually needed. It was 3. Then a ruffian came in and spat some stuff out, the usual shenanigans with these guys. And then I wanted to get more flutterscotch colors because I'm pretty sure that's what the chameleon needs to visit, like it needs the multiple ones. So I went for a pink one. And as it was about to turn, the Cinnamonkey actually became a resident. All those nuts I got kind of worked out better than I thought. That was pretty nice. From there, more surprises came when a new cat finally joined us too. Pretty productive day if you ask me. Then to add on top of all of that, I had the ants go romance. While that was happening, something not very cool was the squizzle was stuck underwater. Remember that one time it tried to drown itself? It's actually like fully stuck and really like super sad. If a piñata gets too sad, it basically just leaves your garden or like kills itself. That's so dark, but it's true. And I kind of need it because I want to breed the two-headed snake for later. So I tried my best to cover up the water and it didn't work. So I decided I have the two-headed snake just go at it. But when I went back to it, it was just there. Like, how did it get out? What is happening? Remember that new cat? Yeah, the bicycle got it. They didn't stick around for very long. I found out I needed 2 pumpkins on top of that, so I guess I'm gonna go get those just so that the bicycle could be ours. To finish off the day, Ceros gave me 2 new seeds, the snapdragon and the nightshade bush, and then the sour maca raccoon showed up. I don't even have the other ones yet. Please calm down. Day 18, I decided to get sparkling. You remember the one person that, like I mentioned earlier, she's just gonna take care of my plants so I don't have to constantly water them because that's currently the most annoying thing. And then I noticed that the Profitimals somehow died. Something I never mentioned, there is actually another character called Dastardos. He's essentially a guy that comes into your garden and kills the piñatas. So yeah, he decided to come up and beat the crap out of him. Then I got a yellow flutterscotch. So that was cool. That was a quick change of stuff. And then I made a spontaneous purchase. I got a Ponaki. Ponoki because why not? He's basically part of the pets, so you can't really get him out of like the wild. Also, because that, I got some XP. So that's a very interesting strategy. Just buy a pet and you can count that as visiting your garden, becoming part of your garden. Very interesting. Oh, and then I made a second bad purchase. I got a pig, okay? Listen. I have too much money. I'm irresponsible when I have too much money, okay? Well, specifically inside of this game. Plus, there's something really funny I can do with this later. And then the bicycle finally became a resident towards the end of the night. Day 19, I began by giving the beggar some money so that he'd just leave me alone. After that, the macaroon decided to come into my garden and I learned it wanted to have 5 master romancers, which is absolutely insane. I don't even have one. If you're wondering what this is, you need to have 7 of the same piñata in your garden. You can either breed them or romance them multiple times or just purchase them. So yeah, I guess I should get on that. And it sucks that I never pushed Jonathan like one more. I'm pretty sure I stopped him at 6, so that's great. And with that, I thought of maybe starting off with the pigs since they're here. Why not? What could go wrong? That is a lie. I had no idea what was about to come. Oh, also had to beat up the macaroon because it was causing chaos. Finally, the horstachio appeared. My favorite piñata in the entire game. This was definitely not because of me getting that Panaki, and I knew that. Definitely not. Then I noticed I finally had 5 different flutterscotches because look who I just got. From here, I finally learned the truth. The pigs do not only need a home and 1 item to breed, they need like 4. So that's great. Also, I really struggled with space, so I had to make some hard choices and get rid of some things, which made me notice another damn squizzle is bugged out. Why is it only happening with them? Day 20 started off with the pigs doing it. And then I just was getting fed up with the nightshade that I planted all those days ago because it just doesn't grow. It takes forever and it's just constant watering and the helper isn't really doing her job. She doesn't get to it fast enough and I have to constantly water it. Thankfully, Horstachio decided to enter and all the things were now calm. I learned it needed to eat 8 apples. So I got 8 apples. Eat up, my boy. Eat up. Then I also took some time to look into the journal and find out what I needed to do for all these piñatas that have appeared till now and never came into the garden. And let's just say it's still gonna be a while to get them, honestly. Then Cedos gave me a banana tree, absolutely superior fruit. We're banana gamers around here. Then that damn tree finally grew. It was such a big goal. The game decided to give me like an achievement for that one. Very needed, honestly. Thank you very much. From there, this dude showed up, the diggerling, who mines, or well, you need a mine. That's cool, I guess. Since I got that introduction, I decided to go see what Willie had for the helpers because there's like a completely different section, and I saw that the helper home was there, which will be a great addition for the watering lady. Maybe now she'll do actually better. She'll be on time. Also, why is the mine 16,000 coins? Like, that feels so unnecessary. I'm not gonna get that for a while. I decided to look into all the helpers, and honestly, they all seem kind of unneeded, or at least not what I'm looking for right now. Like for example, the gatherer, she picks up the fruit and stuff and sells it, but I kind of need it for my boy Horstachio, for example. But for now, it's just you watering lady, person, helper, yeah. Good news everyone though, meet Pedro. He is now part of the garden family. Also, I got the quackleberry finally. Wow. After Willie finished the build, I realized that I didn't really like the placement, so I got him to redo it. And I'm an actual idiot. You see, when I had to make a space in the garden before, I sold the shrooms, which meant that the sour piñata wasn't able to become part of the garden, so I had to redo it. But hey, it ate the red flutterscotch. That was pretty cool. Anyway, I'll have to get the shrooms again. Day 21, the home looked like it was in a better position, and because of that, the dragonfly decided to appear. Bart just got 1 shroom done, and of course, a piñata had to eat the other one just before he got to it. So yeah, I guess another pointless expense right there, just like real life. Oh, and since the squizzles are also buggy and dipping, because of that, I had the snake eat at least 1 since there was 1 spare, just in advance, just in case. Bart finally got the shrooms prepped, and then I remembered to get a goose if I had a quackleberry eat something. Took me a while, you know, I could have thought of the most obvious option, gooseberry, but I chose different stuff. But yeah, there's the juicy goose. What a name. Since I had that 1 snake 1 step closer to doing some loving, I decided to order a second one instead of making one. Is that the correct use of that term? From there, I got a new seed from Mr. Cedos for a bulrush, and then at the end of the night, I decided maybe I'll start romancing the flutterscotches since it seemed pretty easy. And maybe with that I could change them to different colors. Hit 2 flutter scotches with 1, you know, master romancing. That kind of sounded awful. Anyway, got them at home at least. Day 22 started off with me staring at this damn thing to get it. Yeah, you'll be mine. Come on, baby. Yes, closer. Closer. You're mine. Well, whenever you decide to, cocoon. But you're mine, you hear me? Also, I had the new bad guys appear, but do nothing again. I think these provoke the piñatas to fight them or something. Also, I got a new shovel. This is definitely the last one, I think. Oh my god, look at it. How the hell did that come out of the Profitemold like thing? You're so small. What? He needs glasses to... Oh my god, he needs glasses to romance. Me too, man, me too. Then Pedro just decided to become sick, so that was great. No idea what the hell happened, but I didn't like it one bit. As I was impatiently waiting until he got unsick, this thing showed up. I'll be honest, I kind of forgot it was in the game. And then the trailer for the bad guys just played again. Okay. To make things worse, Pedro was sick again? What? And even after being healed, he went down again? Thought it was maybe the trees? Maybe he's stuck? Anyway, after all that trauma, I decided to dress him up. Because of all that trauma, of course. Look at him. He's my army man. And of course, since he got a makeover, Fred did too. I made him a sheriff. Money was kind of low. Not really. I sold the pig and the Jamillion. I'll get him back eventually. But hey, I got a cow instead. And also a sheep. Or should I say, Guba. Guba. Get it? Oh, and then I gave a generous amount of 500 coins to the beggar, which he just took and dipped. What is he doing with it? All that money. Day 23, I thought of maybe breeding the Gubas. So I started off with that. It definitely became unnecessarily complicated, or well, too much stuff to do. But hey, that's basically the like game-ish stuff. Since I need a second one, I got it, and it instantly got in a fight with a damn macaroon. That was great. I need to get these 5 master romancers ASAP. And yes, I know, I can get the totem so it stops being silly. That just feels like cheating. I then got them their house, which is funny because it's a bed. Kind of, you know, it's a sheep bed. And then the game wouldn't stop telling me I had too much stuff in the garden. So hard decisions were made. Goodbye, friends. And that's kind of it for the day. Just chipped away at the Gooba requirements. Wow. First date that I felt like I really didn't do anything. Day 24 started off pretty good. Had the Goobas go at it, and then I found out that there's invisible bombs now inside of these mini game modes. I don't know how I completely missed these, but yeah, all the years that I've played this game and I somehow forgot this feature as well. And then when the egg got delivered, I probably did the most awful thing I could have possibly done. I decided to sell the Goobas and their home, and I didn't take into consideration that their egg was actually going to just completely break, and like I killed the baby. The baby's dead. Yeah. Oops. I did sit there for a while with my mouth open, and I was just in absolute shock because I was just like not expecting it. And honestly, at the end of the day, the only thing that I did really miss out on there was probably the money that I could have gotten from the growing up version of the Gooba. Things did take a turn for the better. The Fizzly Bear showed up. My final favorite piñata. What a surprise. Basically, most of the ones that showed up in that TV show are my favorite. From here, I got the Bird of Paradise plant from Cedos, and I decided to once again investigate into all of the piñatas I haven't gotten in the garden or overall. And one theme with them all is they're all water-based. Kinda. And they need a whole bunch of water to cover the garden. So, since I want to at least unlock everyone and we're on day 24 already, it's time to get to work. So, I began by expanding the pond. Oh, and I also sold more stuff. Need as much space as possible for this one. Then, since I had all that money, my brain thought it was a great idea to just buy 7 chickens. Listen, I got master romance for them. And honestly, doing this with 4 more is just the best option. But having 7 chickens all at once was probably one of the funniest things inside of the game. Like, look at them. And then listen to that beautiful, beautiful noise they all created. I decided to actually just keep 2 just to get them to, you know, do the actual romancing later on. And then on day 25, the nice thing with the chickens was that they were really actually easy to get to romancing. Before they went at it, the crocodile showed up and it needs 16% of water in the garden. How do I not have that yet? One thing I did actually enjoy about the chickens game mode was this. Why did the chicken cross the road? Get it? To bang. Or romance. Or whatever you want to call it inside of this game. Also, it seems that I got the credits for the game unlocked. So does that mean that I'm done the game? Okay. I guess it takes 25 days to finish if you're good. Anyway, this time I sold the chickens correctly, and then after that, the sour mallow wolf appeared. Seriously? I haven't even gotten the last 2 sour ones. Also, then I made a very stupid purchase. I bought 6 cats. I kind of ran out of money. So, the plan of getting 7 of them to master romance them. But I did decide to keep them because I was like, ooh, I'm just gonna romance one more to get the 7. And the thing with that is I decided that wasn't a good idea because the requirements were kind of insane if you ask me. So on day 26 I sold them, or at least I kept the ones that I've already made progress on, just because I didn't want to, like, you know, rebuy all this stuff that was ridiculously expensive. I'm kind of psyching on the money. From here I actually completely forgot and remembered that there is a whole feature to plants that I haven't attempted yet, and that's making them bigger by using the fertilizers. Not all plants work with them, but mainly the ones that actually colorate to the color of the plants themselves. It's basically like pumping up a plant with a bunch of steroids. So for example, the lily pads got maxed out when I used the pink fertilizer on them. After that, I also noticed that the sweet tooth decided to pop into the garden, and that made me make the ponds even bigger because it needs a whopping 14% of the water in the garden. The lily pads started to go a bit nuts. I love how the plants actually become so chaotically big with the fertilizers. And I also realized I had 2 worms, which gave me the idea of making them go at it to get a second romancer goal because they're super easy. So I started working on that. Also, the sweet tooth now needed only 2 lily pads, which was nice because the beast that I made out of that 1 lily pad finally finished growing. And because of that, woo, look at that. There we go. We got a sweet tooth inside of the garden. From there, the worms started their really long journey. You know, this one's for you, Jonathan. And then also towards the end of the night, I felt generous and gave the beggar 1,000 coins just right after complaining that I had no money. Look at me. Which actually did activate a very interesting line where he said that he was going to be different the next time we meet because of the generous amount of money. We'll see about that, buddy. Day 27, I noticed the first time a very weird bug that kind of reoccurs throughout this playthrough, and that is with the maca raccoon. Like, the lighting on it felt very weird, and this just got crazier and crazier throughout the playthrough. Also on top of that, the worms just kept on going. We're pretty far off from the 7, and then a dragonfly finally entered the garden, and it needed 20% of the garden to be watered. They're constantly building up. Relax, slow down, please. Then Cedos actually came in surprisingly clutch and gave me a gem tree seed, which I completely didn't know that he could give me. I assumed I had to get it from one of the shops that I haven't unlocked yet. It is definitely a really cool tree, and essentially when it grows, it just gives you gems as fruit. Oh, and look, that's a paribo. I'm pretty sure I got it because of the banana tree that I just finished growing. It's one of those piñatas that I also just completely forgot was inside of this game. And just as I was talking about that character, or at least that shop that I haven't unlocked, I was trying to keep it secret, but the beggar, Ivor himself, flips his face upside down, and now he sells a whole bunch of new items. I completely knew about this, it's just I really wanted to save my money. Essentially, if you give him 1,000 coins, I think he just does it straight away, so you can do it super early on in the game if you're somehow rich. But there he is, and he's the one that actually sells the gem tree, which I thought I could only get from him. But on top of that, he sells a lot of really cool stuff, like a really overpowered watering can where just you water it once and then it never requires watering again. And also I noticed that there was a shovel head called the Das Stardust shovel head here, which I assumed I was fully done upgrading my shovel, but nope, there was just one more thing, and I actually ended up getting it. What it does, I don't remember. I think it might be just like a visual thing. I don't know. From there, I made the tough decision of selling the Profitamol. I know I just unlocked it, but I just didn't need him right now. We'll go back, I think. And then the Paribo entered the garden and needed how many bananas? Damn, well, that's gonna be a while. Thankfully, just at the end of the night, I was able to have the Master Romancer unlocked for the worms. Yay! Which was one step closer to that 5, but still so far away. Oh, and also the gem tree died. I guess maybe getting that watering can right now would be better, because I don't want to put the lady for the watering out of her business, but like, come on, how did you let this one die? And then the wolf popped up, which I learned needed a pixie. Oh, this one gets a bit complicated because it's so unethical but also so cool. Long story short, we need to get a pig and a swan. Remember that thing that I told you about the pig? Yeah, it's for this one. you have to have them breed. But I don't have a Swanana yet. So yeah, that's gonna be a while. On day 28, I decided I will breed the white flutterscotch since I have 2 and they only require fruit and a home. So I slowly chipped away at that and realized that when I get 7 of them, I could just change them into a different color and get another Master Romancer goal. Absolutely genius. Look at me go. As I was expanding the offspring, I noticed I had 2 sweet tooths now. Wow, that was kind of difficult to say. So I thought I might as well, you know, go for romancing them. Another one off the list. Why not? Something that does get really on my nerves, and this is specifically talking about the flutterscotches now, is the whole like home and breeding thing. They just get inside of their house and then you tap the house to get out, and then they get out and then they're stuck in this like animation of like, oh god, I'm so tired, where am I, and then when you want them to interact with another piñata, they don't, and then it's just annoying, so annoying. After that painful encounter, I got a bulrush plant and I pimped it out. I did that because the sweet tooths do need it for their romancing, and I also got them a home and made their ponds bigger again. Oh, and I got a new gem tree. That's kind of it, what happened for the day. Day 29, the sour gang pulled up. That actually went so hard. Like, look at them. This could literally be an album cover right now. Like, they're just all standing there together. I then did kind of rage a bit more with the flutterscotches because it was just more of that stupid thing of like get in and get out and get in and get out. This game just loves me so much, doesn't it? And also I decided to get rid of the monkey nut tree, and then I pimped out some more plants for both XP and because they just look really cool. And yeah, that was actually it for day 29. Day 30, I just dug and saw that the gang pulled up again. Relax, there's enough for everybody around here. From there, Pedro decided to get stuck again and just get sick for no reason. Come on, man. And I was finally at the last flutterscotch bang sesh and I died. I didn't realize that for some reason I had only 1 life. This flutterscotch is really just drained from all that constant work, huh? Running out of juices. God, that was awful. I'm sorry. Since that was finally done, Eagle Lair showed up, which was cool. You know, that was pretty cool. And now I wanted to put concentration on the sweet tooths again. That went pretty awful because you see, the crocodile needs to eat one. And that's exactly what he decided to do. To make things worse, I thought I could maybe rescue it, and I hit it, which just made it run away, not eat the candy, which they had to eat, progressing that requirement. Man, this game sometimes. If you don't know, that basically means it didn't take that thing off, so it just ate my sweet tooth for no reason. Or well, killed it. Swanana finally did visit, and I found out she needs sandwiches. So I got Bart go to work. Also, I got a whole bunch of buttercups since I decided I'll make the flutterscotches yellow, since that's pretty easy. This day was actually insanely chaotic, and you know what? I loved every single bit of it. Viva Piñata fun facts! What a video, am I right? Let me tell you a story about a game. Another one. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. There's a third game. This one isn't actually like a Viva Piñata game, but it's based about Viva Piñata, but it's actually based about the show. I know. There's a lot of stuff. So basically, this one is like a party game, so you can play with your family, if you have family or friends. If you have friends, that gets a bit sticky sometimes. And it's actually based on the show in the way that you play as the piñatas from the show, like the main ones, but the premise of it in the show, from my understanding, was they competed to essentially end up on a cereal box and be like celebrities. At least that's what the Viva Piñata wiki told me. But yeah, it's a party game. Viva Piñata Party Animals. Wow, it's actually pretty fun. I would be honest, it's pretty fun. But yeah, back to day 70. I don't know where I'm gonna put this in. Whatever day. Let's go. Day 31, I started off by getting orchids from Cedos, and then something not nice. A new sour piñata, the Sour Bon Boon, to be exact. I just can't keep up anymore. Like, I have so many of them at once. Thankfully, getting the 7 yellow flutterscotches wasn't too time consuming, and I was able to do it. So I sold them all after that. Now I just need 1 more Master Romancer. Feels good to be so close. Oh, I also remembered that I ordered a 2-headed snake a while ago, so I picked that one up, and I decided it was time to romance them now, which meant that this time I will be able to get the last snake variant. which we will see later. And with that, I ordered a hunt for the second squizzle. And surprisingly, it was actually caught relatively fast. And I was able to just get them started, which meant that in day 32, I had to patiently wait for that egg to be in that right moment to break it. And of course, everything had to go nuts in the background, but I did do it. There it is. A small version of the next phase and the last phase, the four-headed snake or forehead. Funny thing is, I found out that the sour bonboon needs to lose a fight to a snake of any kind. So this one I guess counts, and I hope they do battle. But yeah, that shouldn't be too difficult, right? Look at this thing. It's like giant, like ridiculously giant. It's a huge ass piñata. Also, I kind of completely forgot that these exist, the Laca toad, which made me really want one now. But of course, I got distracted with the Swanana from here, which is finally part of the garden. This is where the stress kind of kicked in, since the crocodile ate my second sweet tooth. Oh yeah, forgot to say he came back and ate a second one. Well, I just did say that though. Now he needs to eat 2 whole ass Swananas. So I gotta be quick with this one for the pigsy. To quickly start off, I got a pig and then the secret house. We're not gonna get into extreme detail. I know it's super weird, but one thing I wasn't sure was if I needed to get them the hearts above their head by completing their like requirements. So I started to chip away at that for Swanana, and it definitely got a bit weird with the requirements. And just in case, I wanted to try with them with just like the hearts, and it just didn't work. So day 33, I remembered this extremely useful item inside of the game, and that is heart candy. Basically, this allows you to feed a piñata that has already romanced prior to that and just get the heart above their head so you don't have to go through the requirements again. If I knew this, the master romancing would have been so much easier. Why am I so lazy and stupid sometimes? Anyway, I'm like 99% sure that's what they need to do, so that means that I have to romance the Swanana before she and the pig can go at it. In between of me getting all of this stuff done, like getting 30% of the garden to be water, I finally received essentially the last plant in the game, that being the oak tree, which is insanely cool as it has the like piñatas all over it. Well, most of the piñatas all over it. I sold the pretzel, which was one of the OGs. I just won't get around to breeding them just yet, and I needed space and money. Then the Swanana and Juicy Goose decided to fight, and to make things even more chaotic, the Vanilla showed up. I'm pretty sure this is like the biggest piñata in the game. There's one more chunky one, but I do believe the screen literally shakes when the Vanilla walks around. Oh, and also while I was looking at her requirements, I got jump scared by it shitting itself. Why did it just sniff for it? What is this game? Anyway, to finish off the night, it was kind of like messy. I got rid of some stuff like the cats, broke some lilies, and right now money and space is a bit too tight. I'll return to those cats later, I promise. I hope, maybe. I hope, I don't know. Oh, and I also lied. Money isn't tight after selling those, so I might have gotten the last 2 pets I needed, the pigeon and the bark. I called the dog Ella, definitely not because of my dog Ella. Every subscription, I will tell her she's a good girl, so subscribe. Day 34, I made a banana split. Why? Because I can, and I also wanted Ella to be yellow to resemble her as much as I can in real life. And honestly, also because I forgot that's a feature. Don't like the color of your piñata? Then turn it into a color that you want. For basically, they all have different variations. Oh, and then I killed the crocodile just because I just can't have this one on a diet. I just can't. I need them to romance. For some odd reason, this playthrough is just a visual bug fest. Like, what is happening here? And because I just had one Swanana, I decided to order a second one, but it was like ridiculously overpriced, so I had to say goodbye to another OG piñata. The donut, those nuts, am I right? The damn Swanana and Goose wouldn't stop fighting, so I sold the Goose. I'm also finally remembering late game, the gardens just become very barren for the requirements and the limitations of some of the things inside of this game. And to finish off the day, the second swan showed up, and then the big ass oak tree finally finished growing, so that's pretty cool. Day 35, I made a new awful discovery. I couldn't find Fred anywhere. He was just gone. Now, I don't know if I sold him accidentally or something happened to him, but he's gone. So that was like, it's all going down right now. Wherever you are, Fred, I miss you, buddy. Because of that, I got some happy sweets for like Pedro, just in case if Fred just got sad and dipped. I kept on finding him sleeping around the place, so I don't know what happened. Thankfully, it was finally time for the swans to go at it, but right before another late game piñata appeared, Rorio. The swans finally finished their stuff, so I got the second hard candy, and Swanana ate it, and boom, it's time for the most unethical side of Viva Piñata. Let's make a little monster. Day 36 started off with it being born. This feels so right and so wrong at the exact same time. To make things even funnier, the Swanana came up to greet it, and then like 2 minutes later they fought. Oh, and also the crocodile can finally eat the Swananas, which I didn't sell just because, you know, but I would love to because I needed money. The bad thing was that I killed it before, so it reset the fact that it ate the sweet tooth the second time around. So I ordered a new one. Yay! And also one really nice thing was somehow just one Swanana did count as 2. Thank you very much. I feel like it was just like a bug and it meant that it only needed 1. So I was able to sell the other 2 and their house, which did boost up that money back up again. The pixie did actually grow up today, so right before the night, that was pretty nice. The mallow wolf can actually get it, hopefully. And just when I thought that the sour bun boon was going to be mine, since it just had to fight a snake, it instead whispered something into Pedro's ear and it made it fight the forehead. Oh yeah, that's great. Oh, and also the wolf is ours. Finally, rip Bigsy, I guess. This meant that the morning of 37, the wolf officially became part of the garden and the tower was added on top of that. Then I felt confident that I had enough money, so I went back and got the 7 cats, which meant now I have 5 master romancer. Oh, and then I sold the cats. I only lost out like on a bit of money, and since the maca raccoon was in the garden, I found it just needed to eat a cluckle. I got that as fast as I could. Also, for some reason, this day, all the sours just kept on spitting out the bad candy. I have no idea why, but it was very frustrating. Forgot to say the sweet tooth was now in the garden, so that meant that if the maca raccoon eats the cluckle and the crocodile stops being an asshole and eats the stuff too, I can get them both today. And that's exactly what happened. Look at them. They're so cute. Something weird happened was all of a sudden my piñatas just kept on getting really sad. I was very confused why that happened all of a sudden. Like there's just no reason for it. Everybody just started crying. So I tried my best to make them happy with like happy candy and stuff like that, but it wasn't really enough for some of them. We'll get back to it. Hopefully it's okay. Oh, and finally I remembered to get the Lacatoad, so I ordered a Licatoad to make it that. And what you were meant to do was feed it a nightshade fruit, and I forgot that I was meant to tap it with my shovel like just after it ate it, so it got sick. But the second time it worked. Weird looking thing. It's like so empty in this garden now. I decided it was time to romance a few more piñatas. So first up is my boy Pedro. Day 38, I got them their own home. From there, I had to feed Pedro a toffee apple, which I kind of forgot existed in the game. So got an apple and had Bart work away at it. Also, I want to now concentrate on actually getting all those piñatas that appeared so many days ago. For example, the arachnid. Even though it will probably take a lot of time, having 3 of those sour piñatas that required so much grinding is definitely really nice and kind of puts a lot of the work to the side now and allows me to catch up. Fortunately, for some odd reason, the worst thing about this game decided to show up. Professor Pester, who is like the main ruler of ruffians, and what he does is comes into your garden at any time and kills a piñata. Only one. Always the most valuable one in your garden. And there's just no way of stopping him. Which, this time, he decided to choose the forehead. That's kind of good, but also not good. I did try my best to try to protect it, even though there really is just no way of stopping it. So I just embarrassed myself, if anything. And also the main reason I decided to do that is because I remember there was like one save file that I had where he bugged out, so I kind of built around him. This was back when I was like, what, 10, 11 years old and I played the game. It wasn't gonna happen again, but I had hope. I had hope. After that loss, I got Pedro finally laid, and then thought of maybe having a day and night watch helper would make things better. Top of all of this, I also wanted to get a dragonfly, which is another one that takes a while, so I started planting bulrushes everywhere and pumped them up with some good fertilizer to make them big boys. Also, I wanted to see if there was like any light source that I could brighten up the garden instead of the torch, since you know it burns the piñatas. So I got this moon thing. I'm pretty sure I'll need it for a piñata later on, but that was really it for day 38. So starting off in day 39, I decided I would romance the Cinnamonkey, and it seemed pretty easy. That meant that I had to order a second one. I decided to make some research online just to refresh my mind on some of the piñatas that I could make, and remembered there's a cool thing that you can do to have a horstachio eat a blackberry and a daisy and get the zumbug. Remember all the way back in the beginning days I saw a piñata that wasn't really meant to be really around? Yeah, that's it. Also, they don't get along with horstachios, so Pedro had to start another fight. He lost. I'm pretty sure at this stage he's the only one I keep calling the doctor for. Kind of embarrassing. Oh, and then I sold the zumbug, which I got from that, so peace out. Thanks for the XP though. After that, I got the second monkey and had it romance, and then ended off the day with getting rid of the night watch, because honestly, I don't want it scaring away any sour piñatas, or at least the one sour piñata I need. Oh, and I also sold the lacatoad, because that's something to mention. So on to the big day 40. I started off with working on getting the bark to romance, or well, Ellen needs to romance it up. Also, my game is extremely buggy. It kind of feels haunted at this stage, since this weird visual bug is just following me non-stop. Oh, and also I fired a day watch. Since I planted all those bulrush beasts, I now found out I needed a red hot for the dragonfly. I decided to do it by getting a taffly hunted and then just getting it changed, since it seemed way more cheaper and super fast. The dragonfly has to basically fight it and win, which will just happen if they go at it. It's a very ego boosted weird requirement, but hey, whatever you need. The romancing of the barks was pretty easy, and I got that done. Ella now has a baby, which is pretty cool. From here, I remembered I needed to have a few more candaries in the garden for the buzzing, the hawk, yeah, to visit. So I did that, and I got a sparrowman to basically turn into that, and then I sold the spare barks. Ella, you're staying, but I also got rid of your home, sorry. And then since I did have that one red hot, I was like, hey, what if I just have them breed? You know, what's bad at that? So I needed to get some chilies, and then I had to reveal the house for the red hots, and I gotta say, I think this is now one of my favorites in this entire game. It just looks so good. Then on day 41, since I got all those chilies, I remembered a good old strat to get a quick buck in the game, and that is getting the chilies pumped up with that good fertilizer stuff. So that's exactly what I did. Look at this thing. It's absolutely huge. And it did actually give me 400 coins, which is pretty nice. But I'll leave that one for emergencies if I ever need money really fast. Speaking of emergencies, that idiot is back. And his target, yeah, you guessed it, my boy Pedro. Man, I really can't have nice things, can I? As I mourn the loss of a third piñata friend, oh my god. Oh, so many of them are gone. I managed to get the red hots to romance. Oh, and also I got a brown flutterscotch from making it eat a bulrush thing, or well, bulrush top. From there, I went back to the trusty journal and found out that the Rorio's requirements are actually insane. Even though right now it's a bit of a slower part, this will just become pain in a few days when I try to get him. Oh, and to finish off the day, I came up with a strat to get a bunch of candaries really fast. Basically, gonna order their sparrowmints and then just turn them into them. It seems like a way cheaper option. Day 42, I wanted to get all the flutterscotch types, so that's basically what I did. I got all the plants I needed, which would make for a purple flutterscotch, blue, and then also an orange one. Also, a sherbet just walked into my garden, which I guess classifies as a new piñata visit, so I got some XP. Oh, and overall, today's first half was meh. Sold the red hots and the home, got some candaries, and then just went after the flutterscotches until the bun boon pulled up and I had my two-headed snake try to chase it after. This is gonna be difficult. I realized that I have a newt gat, so I fed it a chili and ta-da! Another secret piñata, Salamango. Definitely like one of the weirdest looking piñatas. I'm very confused. And just at the end of the day, I got the 5th and final Kandari. Starting off with day 43, I wanted to do some cleaning up since some of my chores are done-ish. So I decided to cover up some of the water since it was not super needed anymore. And I'm pretty sure for the later game, I'll need my entire garden to just be water to get to a certain someone. So for now, I want to have a nice and good layout for everything. This also allowed me to notice that the Bonboon was creeping around. So I got the snake to quickly make its way to around the area where the Bonboon could enter, and I have finally claimed the last sour piñata because I made the snake go up to it, fight it, and boom. There we go, ladies and gentlemen. Look at him. So silly and so goofy. From there, the Buzzenge finally visited the garden, and also the parrot has returned, which reminded me I still need to get it. So I quickly got it. It's just 10 bananas that it needed, which is a bit painful because, you know, it only needed one. Turns out it ate 9 before. But hey, look, we have a new member to the garden. Also, prior to it turning, I got the orange flutterscotch, which is pretty neat. And to make the chaos of this day even crazier, the Galagugu showed up, the funniest name in the game. I have no idea what this thing is supposed to represent, but the reason it showed up is because it needed all the sour piñatas to basically never show up. And to finish off the day, as per usual, I came up with a brand new thing, and that is to get the Fizzle Bear. So I started working on that. Day 44, I wanted to start making progress actually at getting the arachnid as well, so I had to stock up on some tafflies. I decided to sell the parrot bow actually, since it was probably just taking up some space mostly, and I don't plan to do anything with it just yet. And also, I noticed that there seems to be a lot of Kandaris missing. I don't know why, which I thought meant that the Buzzenge ate them, but I just ended up finding them around the garden. After all of that, 2 different ruffians showed up and were just annoying me until I noticed the Fizzly Bear entered the garden. It needed to eat 2 honeys and then 8 fir cones, which it just kind of ate the honey and then just dipped. I have no idea why it just did that, and it didn't stick around since there was like still a lot to the day. But okay, I guess. Since I was trying to stock up on those Kandaris, I ended up getting Master Romancer for them. So that means I have 7 of them. Later in the day, not much was happening, so I decided to make another silly purchase, and I got the one-use water can, which basically means I just have to water something once and it stays and never overflows or runs out of water. Day 45 was kind of meh. Started off with me finally getting 4 tafflies for the arachnid. What's funny is it did actually enter the garden, but it just decided to walk through the garden to get to the other side, like it didn't even stick around. Okay then. From there, I sold the salamango and the maca-raccoon. See ya guys, I just kind of need some money. And then I remembered that if I actually want the dragonfly, something that I completely forgot is I do need some of the water, so I started digging up some stuff. And to finish off the uneventful day, I decided to go back and work on romancing the cats. Viva Piñata fun facts!
What a great video, am I right? Subscribe and like. This fact involves the team that worked on this game. Did you know that they're Rare Ltd? Yeah, the people who made Banjo-Kazooie, Donkey Kong something, and lastly, the most important one, well, apart from Viva Piñata, Sea of Thieves. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, they made Sea of Thieves. Isn't that insane? Like, no wonder we're not getting a Viva Piñata game. I just want a 3rd one, please. The sun is blinding me. Yeah, this is a fast one. Rare Ltd, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy the video, or whatever. Yeah. Oh, do you have something to say? Dog. Now it's covered in drip.
On the morning of day 46, I heard a weird music playing, which I never heard before, and I found out it was basically the Bonboon boogieing, which I learned is because they distract piñatas from fighting, so you'll never have piñatas battle in your garden, which is so cool. The reason this happened was because Ella started beating up some cats, you know, the classic cat and dog thing. Now, one thing that was really annoying was the dragonfly already had its water and it was about to fight the red hot to become part of the garden, but the Bonboon distracted them, so I sold his ass. Listen, I have patience, but not a lot of it. I do appreciate that it went from causing fights to stopping fights. It's a nice message. Thank you so much, Viva Piñata. Also, today the cats romanced and then I sold them. Oh, the story comes full circle. One thing that was nice was the dragonfly did go back to fight the red hot, so I guess all I needed now was Bulrush's back, because guess what happened on top of that? Might have the water, I might have the red hot, but oh no, your life isn't gonna be that easy. The Bulrushes are all gonna just fall apart. Yeah, that's great. So I have to work on them now. And then I realized I have a worm that is called Worm 22. We've come a long way since Jonathan, a very long way. On day 47, I discovered that trees can die after a while, or at least after I tap them, which is another thing that I just forgot was in the game. Since that happened, it allowed me to introduce some new looks to the area with a new banana tree. After that, I decided to just get rid of some more piñatas since they just kept on coming into the garden and I'm starting to get really overwhelmed. And then I finally got the Fizzly Bear and I called it Fizzy. Oh, so chunky and so cute. After that, I looked into the Galagugu and it needed 16 tulips to come and visit my garden. Oh my god. Not gonna do that yet, so instead, I decided to breed the cows. And what? Why do you need 12 daisies? 16 tulips, 12 daisies? But it didn't seem too bad, so I got those 12 daisies. And also, to finish off the day, I realized that maybe, just maybe, I should get rid of like the extra canderies because the buzzage just doesn't want to enter. So I went back down to 5. Day 48, this is the cow home. Yeah. Also today, I realized that the banana tree died, which means that Sparkling is not doing her job. So I got a replacement, poured it with infinite water. Count your days because you're not doing your goddamn job. Also today, I finally got the dragonfly. It took a goddamn long enough. And then the cow's romance, which is really nice. Since I finally got the dragonfly, I decided to fill up one of the ponds since I don't need it. And to finish it off, I got the milking shed. I guess let's see what this does since we have a cow. So on day 48, I learned that it doesn't actually work like at all. I couldn't get it. I thought maybe feeding the cow a flower since Viva Piñata Wiki said to do that in the sequel with a sunflower, but it didn't work. So I actually decided to try a sunflower. While I waited for the sunflower to grow, other stuff happened. I looked at Viva Piñata Wiki and I realized that I can potentially get one of the 3 last piñatas revealed. But to do that, I have to get the Horstachio to Master Romancer. So I got them ordered. This is for you, Pedro. As I waited for them to arrive, the buzzage was edging me, literally, by standing on the edge of the goddamn garden barrier. How is this the most challenging piñata yet? Isn't it like one of the first ones I got? Anyway, I got the first Horstachio, then his home, and started feeding them. The hard canning, which I obviously learned from the Pixies, was a good way to cheat the system, if only I knew that before. Day 50, the big halfway point, I started off with me obtaining the second Horstachio, and since it's the halfway point, we're going to celebrate it the right way, by having the Horstachio's romance over and over and over and over again. Which was, of course, painful because bro did not want to come out of the goddamn house, or brodette. Is that what you'd say? Brodette? I don't know. But after a lot of trial and error and my patience, the romancing began. On the other side of things, the cow was still not working, even after the sunflower. So I sold them, like both of those things, the milking thing and the cow. So now we're going to test out the shearing thingy machine, whatever. So I got a Gooba as well, just to test out how that works. On day 51, the Gooba tested it and came out looking like this. I'm so sorry. So then after I knew what it did, I sold it. But we're not gonna sell you, naked guy. You're sticking around. I like the way you look. Then the buzzage finally actually came in and ate one of the canderies. One damn candery. This has been in the works for way too long, and then it dipped. I'm okay. You're okay. I'm okay. We're okay. Oh, and also quick update on the Horstachios. They're goddamn going strong. Look at them. I did the minigame so many times, I'm literally speedrunning it now. One more, and then we got it. So, on day 52, I got the master, and there it is, the Tunicorn. Definitely one of the coolest piñatas in the game, taking a spin on some of the ideas of the piñatas, since this is clearly just a unicorn. But still, really cool nonetheless. Also, this means only 2 more piñatas are left to reveal, but I still gotta get like too many, like to be part of the gardens. One nice thing was, I got a lot of money from the Horstachio. I even got an achievement for it. Also, since I got the Tunicorn revealed, I decided to get it, which wasn't too difficult. Just needed a gem tree in my garden, and then for it to eat 15 gems. Towards the end of the day, I decided to start working on getting more piñatas to romance. So with that, I decided I wanted to finish off the pet ones, and I went for the Pudgeons first. Day 53, I revealed their home, and oh my god, this is now a competitor for the best house in the game with the red hot one. Just art right there. Get his ass, get his ass. And then they romanced, which was pretty cool. The buzzage is just bullying me at this stage. It won't actually eat the damn canderies. But hey, look, I got the Tunicorn. Oh, and I also sold the Pudgeons. Huh, rainbow gems. Kind of forgot that they were in the game. Pretty neat, because it's just a gem that's bartified. Is that a correct way of saying that as well? So, got him to work on them, because why not? Might as well romance them, am I right? Oh my god, how is this unicorn? It's 9 grand? I mean, I guess I'm rich after those horseshoes. Gotta do what you gotta do. After Bart was done, I was able to learn that literally just those 2 things, like the house and the rainbow gem, is all they needed, though. That's really easy. And then their house was very appropriate for them being, you know, unicorns. Definitely not my favorite one, but still looks pretty cool. On day 54, I got the next unicorn and then got them romanced up, and then I made a pretty sad decision. I fired Sparkling. Listen, I know she's been here for a really long time, but she's kind of slacking. And my one-time use watering can is just superior. This kind of feels like real life now, where people just get fired because something else is replacing their jobs. As I was just looking through the journal, I stumbled upon how many more piñatas I need and their insane requirements. Like, for example, the eagle air. It needs to eat 4 buzzing. I don't even have 1. And then I have to get 15 other species for it. That just feels a bit over-exaggerated. Well, I guess the buzzing saw that I was in awe at the grind because it finally ate another canberry. I decided to remove the canberry home, which I got a few days ago, just because they were so loud, and I wonder if it is because of that. They might have just been hiding. Maybe it doesn't classify them as 5. I don't know, it's weird. And then, once again, my favorite line in this video, to finish off the day, I decided I want to get the Galagugu. Galagugu. Yeah. Since its requirements seem doable, I know it's 16 tulips, but hey, it is only 16 tulips. And also another thing, I'm gonna now romance the Panokis. Remember the pet stuff? Yeah, we're gonna go for more of the pets. And then I filled up the last pond and sold the helper home. There was a lot of stuff that I did towards the end of the day. Day 55, continued with the filling of the pond. Then I noticed that the fir tree was orange, so I assumed it was dead. That was an awful idea because I sold it. And then let's say the buzzing finally ate its last required canberry, and its other requirement was to have a fir tree in the garden. So let's just say I made things incredibly bad because I could have gotten it. I could have gotten a buzzing today. I'm okay. You're okay. I'm okay. You know, tomorrow we're gonna get it. Tomorrow's the day, ladies and gentlemen. I'll replant it and it'll grow. I promise. You'll see. Well, at least today the Panakis were able to romance, and to celebrate all the pain I went through today, I bought the mine, which cost me a fortune. But hey, why not? Oh, and also I got a diggerling because they need to dig to find the secret piñata. We will find it, ladies and gentlemen. Day 56. Today was the day. Today was the day. I can't speak that I got the buzzing. And then it got killed by the eagle, like straight away. But I don't care. That's the next piñata we need. I would have at least liked to enjoy it for a while. Also, something messed up was like everybody pulled up to eat the candy. Like everyone's so brutal. Relax, there's enough for everyone. Also, something surprising, it seems that I have the 15 species already. So, okay. Then I ordered another buzzing, because why not? It needs 3 more. Today, nothing else really happened. I made a little dirt patch, and then I just watched as the Galagugu roamed before dipping. And then I got another buzzing, because, you know, stacking. We know the stocks up. Day 57, I started off by staring at the Galagugu to see what it does. And hey, it ate a moth drop. That was pretty cool. That's one of 2. I took a while to decide what to really do. Having way too much, it's kind of annoying because I don't really know where to start. So I panicked and decided on romancing the dragonfly, which requires 25% of the garden to be water. So I guess digging time it is. One positive way that I'm going to look at this is I can actually multitask progression towards romancing the dragonfly, the crocodile, and then revealing one of the last 2 piñatas finally, which requires a whole bunch of water to be in the garden. The eagle was also kind of going nuts and ate the last buzzing, so I decided to get the last one ordered. It's kind of funny that the eagle is actually surprisingly so easy to get. I thought it was going to be such a grind. Oh, and also during the night, the Galagugu showed up and ate the last moth drop, which it needed, which revealed it needed a 3rd thing, which surprised me. Quick Viva Piñata wiki research, and it needs a protector helper, so like one of the guard people. So day 58, I got a night watch since it seemed appropriate considering the Galagugu shows up at night. Also, today is when I started to really feel the effect the mine and diggerling had on the good old savings, you know, the fortune that I spent on them. But hey, the eagle was basically done and ate the last buzzing, and then it just left. So did it work? Did you eat the last one? Are you a different eagle? Guess I'll find out tomorrow when you show up again. First of the day, I dug until I noticed that Galagugu arrived and just dipped. Did the night watch scare it away? I'm so confused as to what they're doing. Like, are you supposed to do something? As I was trying to research and figure out what the hell it was doing, my game froze. That's great. So when I loaded back up, it was actually a positive thing because I got teleported back in time and loaded it right before the Galagugu arrived and could have potentially done the last things it needed, like eating the last tulips. So in that case, I made the night watch go as far as away from the Galagugu, and it was officially ticked with all the boxes, which meant that day 59, I'm proud to announce, was the day we achieved obtaining the Galagugu, one of the most most confusing piñatas in the game. So back to digging I went, which thankfully wasn't too long before the dragonfly was finally done in that section. And now it needed to eat a raisin. And these later game piñatas are really a bit of a pain. Since I basically couldn't afford anything, I decided to resort back to that money making strat of pumping up chilies with fertilizer. Told you there was going to be emergencies later on. And just as I was about to do that, tragedy struck. The poopy head professor appeared. And guess what piñata he got now? The Galagugu. I love this game so much. But you know what? Let's not concentrate on that. The eagle showed up again. And yes, it was indeed done. Just for some odd reason flew off. I'm pretty sure that's not supposed to happen. That meant I can make some kind of money since I could sell all those different species I had, all 15 of those. And to finish off the day, I found out that after the raisin, they also need to eat a bee. So haha, thank you Dragonfly. You're a bit of a pain in my ass. Oh, and I also let go of the night watch because I don't know. I didn't want it to do stuff. Viva Piñata fun facts!
Story time, or well, lore time. Did you know that there's actual like lore in this game? First of all, this is actually based on like a piñata island. It's shaped like a classic piñata. And then another thing is there's like full-on lore. So there's a character called whatever his name is. He is a great gardener. He is the best gardener ever. And then he has a wife that's called Mother. It's very weird. Like, I will be honest. Character just called Mother. Whatever. They have kids. They have Stardust, who is going to go in his father's steps and be the best gardener ever. There is Leafos, who greets us at the beginning and creates a journal, also loves gardening. And then there's Starkos, who goes on adventures with her mother, who delivers piñatas. I forgot to say, this is like the olden times of like delivering piñatas by boat. And then there is the last one, Sidos, who loves Shelly beans. We'll get there. So there was this one dude called Lester that Giordino, the greatest gardener, worked to it. But Lester was kind of like a prick. Long story short. He created the sour stuff. So he banished him. Giordino banished him. And then a few years later, Giordino was on the hunt for the piñata that I will not mention. We will discover it in this video. That they just couldn't get. Giordino just couldn't get it. So Lester came up to him and was like, there's this one dude on an island that knows how to get it. So of course he was a fool and instantly believed Lester, the guy who created like the sour stuff, the bad stuff. And then what ended up happening was they went off to get it, him and his wife. The boat crashed that they were on. His wife got swept away by the ocean. He believes that she's still alive. Come on, dude. And he became crippled. He also found the dude. It turned out it was a diggerling, and the diggerling was like, yeah, nah, I don't know what that is. I found its egg though, I think once or something like that, or I've seen the egg. And then he was forced to stick around for a while before he could go back and save his kids who were with Lester, because he entrusted him in a way. And long story short, when he went back, Lester kind of killed the Stardust, and now it's this Stardust, the guy that kills the piñatas. Leafos was all like depressed and crying and sad. The garden was absolutely destroyed, where you pick up from your part at the beginning of the game. And then also Sidos was now Seedos, because he went off with the Shelly beans and loves plants and stuff, like the Shelly beans love seeds. And Storkos was just chilling. It's kind of the funniest bit. She just kind of did nothing. She just kept on delivering eggs. But yeah, lore. Kind of weird, but also good. I kind of dig it. It makes sense, I feel like I have a place in that world then. I'm just a random dude that showed up. Everybody's a random dude. You're a random dude. Anyway, back to the video. Day 400 or something.
The next few days, a lot of stuff didn't happen. It was just a lot of boring things. So let me quickly break it down. So on the most part, day 60 and 61 was spent getting the dragonflies to romance, which they did, which was really cool. One nice thing about day 61 was I noticed that Ella wags her tail when she sleeps. Look at her, she's so cute. The plan was to get the dragonflies to mate to basically build up some money. Day 62 is where things got better-ish. I sold the dragonflies because trying to get flying piñatas to get master romancer or just made at all, even with candy, is so annoying because they just fly around the place. And something that I decided today was trying to get the last, or one of the last, piñatas revealed, which is called the Chippopotamus. The reason this is such a pain in the ass is because for it to become an official resident, it needs 60% of your garden to be water, 14 watercresses, 14 lilies, and 14 bulrushes to be inside of your garden at once, and then it needs to eat 10 of them. So if there's less than 10, once the Chippopotamus is done eating them, that basically means that it will leave your garden. So it's a long, tedious process that limits me from doing many things in the 60s. That's why they're kind of uneventful. So I just decided to go back to digging, which continued into day 63, which was nice because the Chippopotamus actually revealed itself, our last official reveal of a piñata. Also, today I did nothing but dig, and I did get 60% towards the end, but man, that's kind of lame. So on day 64, the Chippopotamus was being really silly and didn't even show up today, like at all around the place. So since the crocodile was able to start romancing, I decided to do that while I waited for the Chippo to hurry up its big booty. Day 65 was really nothing apart from like crisis happening in the garden because the garden was all water. Then day 66, things got a bit better. Not really, like not really at all. I was able to get the crocodile to romance finally, and then the Chippo showed up. As I was trying to keep up with it, it just ceased to exist. I have no idea why that happened. But then it came back and then it vanished again. What is happening? Oh, also sold the Crocs. I don't need them anymore. Day 67, I had nothing to do since the water just limits any piñatas that aren't water-based to enter the garden or just chill around because I love making my water super deep. But hey, at least it finally entered today. I might sound pretty okay-ish while recording this right now, but when this happened, I was literally yelling from joy because honestly, describing it inside this video is not as exciting as it was while playing. Now, it didn't really do much apart from eat some of the things and then leave again, but hey, it finally did something. That's all that mattered. Day 68 started off with waiting until both the Chippo and him showed up. I was worried he's gonna get the fizzy, but instead he went for the most valuable piñata, which was the eagle. Oh well, I preferred the eagle to go more than fizzy, honestly. But also today it finally happened. The Chippopotamus finally joined the garden. This was probably one of the most rewarding things that has happened throughout this playthrough. The only other similar feeling was when I got like the 3 sour piñatas in a row a few days ago in the 30s. But yes, it finally happened, and I couldn't be more happier because that means I can finally clean up the stuff and make the garden look a bit better. I was considering to romance the Chippo, but honestly, I'm done with this water. It needs so much water to romance, and I just don't care. It's a ridiculous amount, and I probably just won't get it at all in these 100 days. So then, on day 69, I spent the best day ever filling holes. I was waiting for that for so long. Also, today it was the gamer plan to start grinding out all those damn piñatas I was missing because it's already day 69. So that means the diggerling needs to, get his shit together. Come on, dude. So that meant that Arachnid was back on the table, so I had to get the Tafflies and then breed them because I think that's the best way. And maybe Master Romance, who knows. Then day 70 was meh at best. Just worked away at the Tafflies, got some trees to redecorate the area, and then decided since we're in the 70s of the days, it's time to get the elephant now as well. Just overall as well. So day 71, I had all the 16 nuts, which the elephant needed. Nuts. While I was trying to get everything the elephant overall required, which was kind of insane amount, the Tafflies actually got Master Romancer. So that meant it was time to only hopefully get the Arachnid, but also romance someone else. And you know who was on the table for romancing? Fizzy. You've been with us for a while, and since I wanted to at least romance every single piñata, you're next up, buddy. Day 72, kind of boring, so I decided to change Worm 22 into a pinkish red color. He's kind of growing on me, he's been around for a while. Reminds me of Jonathan, apart from the name. The Arachnid finally showed up and became part of the garden, so that's cool. And funny thing with this day is that the elephant came in and almost ate everything, apart from I think like 2 corns that it needed. So somehow this is ending up to be one of the easiest piñatas, which I thought was going to be a very difficult one. Day 73, Fizzy finally was able to romance, and then after I sold the home and the spare Fizzly Bear. You're staying, buddy, don't worry, you're my guy. And since that was done, I kind of just decided to go for the Arachnid because why not, like in the breeding romancing side. Then I got a gem tree since the place felt a bit empty, and then woo, look at that, we got the Elephanilla. Yeah, honestly was way easier than I was like considering or just thinking at all. Like seriously, I think I'm getting ridiculously lucky through this playthrough, which since now we have the Elephanilla, it means that we basically only need the Rorio to be caught. So you know what that means? Time to get it. Yeah, you guessed it. But first, I'm going to like romance a few piñatas because why not? So day 74, I decided to rebuild the helper house since I want the diggerling to actually, do his job faster, and it going from town back is kind of like a pain in the ass. We're already on day 74, so since I need the Rorio and then that secret piñata to be just revealed by the diggerling, we need to get on that really fast. And surprisingly, I think the home helped because it found a sapphire, which is pretty cool, so that gave me a bit of money. And then I decided to get the elephants a home and worked on them. So I ordered one. After that, I think I'm gonna make my way onto the requirements for Rorio. So day 75, I revealed its home, and oh my, this is definitely a very extra home, but I really think it's cool. From there, the arachnids romance, and oh my god, 9,000 for the elephants as well. Why are you taking so much money from me? Since I needed some money, it was the perfect time to say goodbye to arachnids. Thanks for romancing, I guess. Something I did remember, a great way of getting money. And yes, I remember a lot of stuff during this video, but one thing that I remember doing when I was a child and helping out my brother was pumping orchids with special juices that Ivor has. So that's what I decided to do to see how much money I could potentially get. Day 76, I began to make progress on romancing the elephants. One interesting thing was that it says that it needed 2 of everything, but it just counts as 1. Odd like visual glitches, a lot of bugs and just mistakes inside this game, but you know what? That doesn't change anything. And then, ladies and gentlemen, I went over to the orchids, and oh my god, that is so much money. Why haven't I done this before? This is definitely going to be the best money making strategy from now on. I really just don't have to worry about it anymore. During my romancing of the elephants, their minigame involved the silhouette of a plane. I don't really understand this one. Is this like a saying? I couldn't really find anything. Is there like a saying, an elephant on a plane? After that, I sold the home, sold 1 elephant, and I kind of decided to keep 1 elephant, and I called her Ellie because, I don't know, it looks like a she, and you know, elephant, Ellie, Last of Us, whatever. And oh my god, look at this thing. Why is the seat so big? I'm telling you, this game is just becoming more and more buggy. From the visual bugs to the mistakes in the spelling or whatever to this thing. It's huge. It was dug up by the diggerling. Oh my god. But the tree looks normal. Day 77, I got a donut because it's time to romance them up. Why? Well, Rorio needs there to be 5 of donuts, 5 zumbugs, and then eat 2 of them. So I gotta stock up on both of those. That's gonna take a while. Also, the garden needs to be worth 50,000 coins. So I'm going to assume that having 10 of, well, just 10 of those piñatas together, that's going to be enough money. Oh, also, the professor's back. And of course, I can't, again, just have nice things. There goes Ellie. And it was just as I sold her child. Like, he could have went for the child and not Ellie. My strategy to get the first 2 zumbugs is just to change a horstachio, since that is a way cheaper option, and then just romancing them up. Day 78, I decided to hire 1 more diggling. Being so close to day 80, or just overall the 80s, is starting to stress me a bit, because I don't know how long the Rorio is going to take, and I don't know how long that secret piñata is going to take to be revealed. So I hope this does something. Also, here's the first zumbug. Good thing there's no horstachios to fight it this time. I'm basically going to be multitasking 2 piñatas at this stage. Oh, and also, I forgot to mention, but the 5th donut is already on its way, so like, that was pretty quick. To finish off the day, I got some jam for the zumbugs and a home for them to start romancing. Day 79, I started off with the diggerlings, but this time I gave them all 200 coins. Forgot I could do that. Maybe that'll help them in some way. Also, the zumbugs were ready to romance, and somehow I failed their minigame like twice. I love how when they fail romancing, they just kind of stare at each other with a broken heart until it comes back. But like, overall, this mission is so annoying and so difficult. It's probably the most difficult one that I've done throughout this 100 days. It was impossible. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to announce paying my employees more money made them discover, yes, the Dragonosh egg, or whatever you want to call that. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. The secret piñata is a dragon that I was able to reveal from its egg, not on its own. I had to get a chicken to sit on it, but there it is. It might seem pretty big already. Oh, but you wait, because the reason it cocoons, I have to actually help it cocoon. So we need to go through a long and painful process right now of attempting to make it eat everything that it requires to cocoon up. But yes, the secret last piñata we needed is a dragon. So the first thing that it needed was milk, so I fed it some milk. Then day 80 was pretty mediocre. Today everything just started bugging out. Like, it was weird because the zumbug's hearts weren't going to appear after the heart candy, which started making me concerned because like that was just going to be a lot of money. A ruffian got stuck inside of the garden, and on the good side, I fed the dragon, which now I'm going to be calling Ash. What's up, Ash? A red hot salamango and a dragonfly, which was a lot of stuff, but that's everything that it needed and even more. And then to finish off the day, I did the orchid strategy just to get some of that money in case I do have to buy all those zumbugs. Viva Piñata fun facts!
You're still here? Don't mind me just looking at real life gooseberries. That's right. That's right. It's the real stuff. Yeah, I got that, you know? This one is actually kind of special. This fun fact, the last fun fact. The reason it's special is because it's actually not exactly a fun fact about the game. It's a fun fact because there is a dev team called RTP Team. I hope I said that correct. Like, I hope it's not something else. That are making a fan game. A fan game third game. to be more exact. And it's gonna be called Return to Paradise. Now, I don't know if this is still being under construction, under production, but I think it's so cool that there are fans that are making this kind of a genre game. And you know what? It's not really being done like this. Obviously, they're going to be doing a fan game, so no money off of it. I don't think so. I will have the links down to the description to the Steam stuff if you want to check it out or whatever. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Let's do a taste test of a gooseberry. It is still very much not this season. That was ridiculously hard, and the only reason I ate it was because I was playing with it and it fell off. Yeah, thank you for watching or whatever. Let's get back into it or something.
Thankfully, on day 81, I was like, I have too much stuff in my garden. What if I get rid of some stuff? Which activated the ruffian to run away, and then the hearts appeared on the Zumbug. So I'm going to assume there's just way too much happening inside of this garden, specifically probably because now there's a dragon inside of it that's pretty big. There's nearly like over 20 probably piñatas. And then I failed like the freaking mini game multiple times. But to finish off the day, I had a horse-statue planned to turn into a Zumbug, so I wouldn't have to do a mini game. And then they fought. And also Ash cocooned. Yeah, he's gonna be a big ass boy. Like, look at him. That is just ginormous. It's definitely like one of the coolest piñatas, but it's supposed to scare the professor away, I was told by Wiki. I don't know if that's for the sequel or this one, but hopefully that works. And I'm assuming he's gonna even build up the value of the overall area even more. Since the garden was really getting crazier and crazier, I decided to sell the Chippo. I'm losing everything that I like inside this game. The main reason I kept the Chippopotamus was because it was just so like much of a grind, but yeah. And then I had the last Zumbug cooking up, so you know, that was a good way to finish off the day, including an orchid strat again because more money, thank you very much. On day 82, I made a second sad and difficult decision. I sacked the diggerlings and got rid of their mine. Listen, they're done their work. I don't need them inside my garden. It's just, you know, filling up space that I kind of need. It just made like the game really struggle with 10 of those piñatas and also the Chippo before and now the dragon. So I need to prioritize the space. And since it was the day I officially had the requirements for Wario, I pre-booked a hunting for a Zumbug just in case the Wario showed up and ate it. Oh, what a fool I was. You see, ladies and gentlemen, this is where things get so spicy that it was way too spicy for me, and I love spicy stuff. My hopeful, foolish mind was like, oh, easy peasy getting the Wario. No. The next few days were absolutely miserable. So let me fly you through it. Firstly, today, I wasn't seeing the Wario anywhere. I checked how much my garden was worth, and it was worth well over the 50 grand it needed. Also, a side note, somehow it says I'm on day 83 inside of the book, but that means that I should be on 84 or 82. I don't know, but whatever. We balling. I think it's correct inside the video. If I messed up, then hopefully my editing self or recording self right now later will fix stuff. Then the Wario showed up. What? Teased me and then left. Like it didn't do anything. On day 83, I started theorizing. Maybe the Wario is trying to play hard to get like the Buzzage with the Candaries, where it wouldn't enter because they had a home under my assumption. So I sold it 2 houses. But nope, it came and went. Oh, you cheeky little guy. I'm coming for you. Because this was really annoying me, I decided to do side stuff as I wait, just to not waste these days. So I just started romancing piñatas, and the first one up is the Fudge Hog. Might as well go backtrack and do some stuff that I was supposed to do in the past. On day 84, they romanced up, and as for Wario, you know, he showed up, walked around, stared at me, laid down. He's really not budging, is he? Huh? You know you want to. Come here. Since the Fudge Hogs were done, I disposed of them. You're not Fred. You'll never be Fred. You'll never be him. And then I decided to concentrate on the Sherbats to romance. So on day 55, it returned and once again did not enter the garden. I'm not okay. I promise I'm not okay. It literally walked from one corner to another and then back and dipped. Dude, just come in. Just come in here. Anyway, the Sherbats are done as well. Day 86 was actually pretty wild. I decided to move on to Newtcats, which in the process of expanding the pond for its requirements, my game froze. On my return, I saw him, but you know what? I don't care anymore. I don't care. And of course, because I wasn't caring anymore, it finally entered. Yeah, that annoyed me. To make matters worse, it wandered around and didn't even eat anything. If anything, it just looked at the things that it wanted to hunt, but it failed and shook its head. You're supposed to be a lion, the king of the jungle. Stop being such a little baby. Just eat them. Just munch on them. That's all we're here for. You're the only one that's left. Come on, buddy. Anyway, the newt cats romanced, I guess. On day 87, I got badgesicles thinking that, you know, it required newt cats to romance, but I was a fool. It actually needed the squizzles instead. But hey, at least maybe I can change the newt cats into the salamangos and then romance them. So I began multitasking the romancing. As I was speedrunning that, Rorio was nowhere to be seen today for some odd reason. It was literally a shame to just show itself, which is just so great, isn't it? Day 88 had to be better, right? Wrong. Still no sign of him, but hey, look, romancing. No, shut up! I hate this! I hate this. I guess this did make me giggle. Like, look at him walking around like an idiot. Anyway, enough fun. I sold them. Day 89, I waited and I waited. Even the zombugs were not having it. Like, what is happening here? Maybe, if I pimp them out, maybe if I just go to the pet shop and customize them, they'll look better. And then Rorio will come in, right? So this zombug is like a pirate dude. Yeah. Now we're on to the 90s. In our last 10 days, ladies and gentlemen, the Viva Piñata gods were thankfully on my side. As I worked on my orchids, the Rorio entered. And when he entered, he ate a donut. Finally, it did something. And because of those orchids, I'm going to assume that they were the things that pushed the value of this garden just a bit more for it to enter. Now, did it stick around too long? No. Since, you know, it now had 4 donuts instead of 5 inside of the garden. Day 91, he returned and ate a zombug. And oh, the joy I felt. This was the time. Now, again, it didn't stick around and it did leave. But on day 92, I decided to just customize the garden a bit. Oh, watch, look, there it is. Finally. And this time, it was the donut again. Okay. This means that tomorrow, day 93, ladies and gentlemen, this could happen. Which in fact, day 93 was a day. It started off with a disappointment because Rorio took forever to appear, but wait, what's that? Yes, it's him. And there it is. It finally consumed the last zombug. With that, day 93 marks the official last day of piñatas joining the garden. That means that today is a wonderful day. Oh, what a wonderful day. Since I now have 7-ish days to finish everything in this game, I decided to do my second sub challenge because the first challenge is officially complete. And this challenge was to romance all of the piñatas. First up, might as well work on the Rorio. So I ordered a second one and then began by feeding it one of the most ridiculously priced zombugs I had because one of its requirements meant that it had to eat a piñata that was well worth over 4,500 coins. Very bougie if you ask me. On day 94, I got the second Rorio and thought that the overdressed donut would be enough for it to eat the coins because I just couldn't check how much it was worth. But no, it wasn't. So I went for another zombug and somehow made this one worth over 8,000 coins. How is that even possible? Okay. Well, also, Ella was not having it with another cat species in her garden, so she was battling. So I have to get this really quick because I'm not selling Ella, I'm selling these Rorios once they're done. They were done romancing and then they were sold. That was quick, wasn't it? Oh, and then I had like over 100,000 coins, so that was a lot of money. So then I ordered Mallow Wolves. Never have to worry about money, I guess. Day 95, I got the Mallow Wolf and it was really buggy. Like, it was terrifying. This game is just wonderful sometimes. Then I decided to customize Fizzy, got him an afro because it looked funny, and got Ella a tiara. I'm not gonna say it because it sounds cringe, but you know why. You know why she has a tiara now. Oh, also, look, it's the professor. Oh, what's that? You're going to now kill Fizzy because of that stupid afro and no other really expensive piñata inside of the goddamn garden? This is going great. I love this game so much sometimes. To finish off the day, once again, I got the Mallow Wolves to romance. Day 96, I felt generous, so the wolf gets to stay in the garden. Since I always sell the piñatas, might as well, you know, for the last days, build up the economy around here. Then I decided to romance the Gala Gugu. Again, since it's just a lot of waiting when trying to romance the piñatas, I went to Ivers to see what he had in his shop, and I discovered that there were still upgrades for the shovel that I was missing, and I completely just ignored them. That was great. And then I got this. I wonder if that's what they look like without the masks on. It's kind of weird looking. Oh, and I copped a flag thing, which I completely forgot was a feature inside of the game where you can make custom flags or at least a custom emblem. I made this, or well, it was a preset flame, but that looks pretty sick. On day 97, I noticed that the Gala Gugu house was incredibly cool. I still don't know what they are meant to represent, but the fact that when they have to enter their house, they get scanned because of all the security and the paranoia, it was just incredible. Then I got a tunicorn, which is the thing that they needed to romance, and for some reason, the minigame was a shape of a pacifier. They're really just making fun of this piñata, you know, gala goo goo, like goo goo gaga, and they're really paranoid and scared. And then we're just gonna go for the parry bows for day 98. So I had them romance. And then I sold the wolves because, you know, I don't need them anymore, and I'm not really good with having piñatas in my gardens for too long unless I really like them. Also, I noticed I unlocked Leafos Gossip. You know, it's great to unlock a feature that I only discover on day 98. The way I get it is whenever I talk to Leafos, I have no idea what she means in this part. Like, what, you romance a pigeon and a dragonfly and you get a buzzage? Weird. I don't understand. And for my most likely last piñata to romance, I decided to go for the Pigsy, just because it's such a bizarre looking one, so I wanted to get that. And then it just got a visual bug that looked like this. More terrifying stuff inside the game. Day 99, I wasn't sure that I would be able to romance the Pigsies since it is day 99. And also the fact that their deformed ass just struggles to walk around like super slow, because I'm guessing one of their paws or legs is shorter than the other. You have wings, fly around, dude. And then I got a rainbow, because why not? And that means, ladies and gentlemen, that today is the day of the 100s. And today I was able to romance the Pigsies. And then I did nothing. I just kind of reminisced. It felt like there was no point to do much. I did actually plant 2 flowers, the daisies and the bluebell, and pump them up with some fertilizer because I completely forgot I was able to do that. Some other features that I forgot to do was like changing the color of piñatas, which I should have probably done day 100. But yeah, we achieved the main goal. The main goal was to get all of the piñatas unlocked and at least part of my garden. I hope I didn't forget any. I'm pretty certain I didn't. Just walked around, looked at what I had, how far we've come, and that's day 100, ladies and gentlemen. What a day. What a day.
And so here we are at the outro of a ridiculously long video. Yep, it is pretty long, and if you've made it this far, I can't thank you more. Seriously, it's been such a grind, but I felt so passionate about this just because it's a game that I honestly love to this day. And if you ask me to go for another 100 days, I would genuinely do it, like all over again. And it's kind of nice because there is a sequel. So if this video in any way gets, actually, never mind. Any kind of views. No views. I'll still make the sequel because I love this franchise so much. And this isn't the only content that I'll be making on this channel. I will be making plenty of other videos, some small ones just to fill up in between the big ones because I have some big ideas. I'm going to start working on a pretty big one that's going to take me probably some more time, similar as to this one, and it'll probably be quite a few minutes, maybe hours long. Also, just to quickly say, something that I felt like including, the editing process for this was pain in my booty cheeks, to put it lightly. The main reason it was a pain in my booty cheeks is because one night I decided to stay up, which was a lot of late nights editing this, and I had a cup of coffee around my keyboard and I spilled it absolutely all over my keyboard. So I have it right here. Some casualties happened. It's like, trust me, this is not how I used it. It wasn't the best. It's pretty dusty, covered in dog hair. And I took apart all the keycaps, put some back together to see if it would still work, but no. It sounds pretty talky now, so that's kind of cool. But yeah, need to collect some more money to invest in another keyboard. And I'm using a $14 grocery store keyboard. I've stooped pretty low. Anyway, this video is long enough, but again, if you've made it this far and you enjoyed this video in any kind of way, you don't even have to subscribe. Just, I'll be posting a bunch more videos. I just feel way more passionate about this. I've done YouTube before. This is my first rodeo, and I just want to make videos about games because I love games, and I know you love games. What a loss. What a sad loss. If you're wondering what keyboard it was the ADX RGB wireless mechanical gaming keyboard made in China. Yeah. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys next one. Bye. Something I completely forgot to mention is I also know that I missaid a lot of stuff, specifically the names of the piñatas. Squeezel. What the fuck is a squeezel? Yeah, I'm sorry about that one. If it annoyed you, it annoyed me a lot.